Ashtavakra Gita, Chapter 1, Verse 13. Meditate on the self as immovable, intelligence, and non-dual. Give up the feeling within and without. Give up the feeling that you are this or that. Give up the illusion of the separate self. When the sage says meditate, it is not some process to be followed. It's not like sitting in a certain posture and doing some process for some time. No. It's not just a certain state to attain and come back. We need to understand the context with which the sage is speaking to us. When the sage says meditate, it means to become, to be that. To be what? Let's see. The sage is saying immovable. What does he mean by that? He says meditate on the self as immovable. Okay, let's see what movable means. It is something that can be changed, right? And what would be changing? The objects, what we are seeing, our assumptions, our imaginations, and what I'm thinking, all those can change, right? Like we discussed in the previous verses, we need to see every word of the sage from where we are now and experiment on that. Okay, if you think the rock is immovable, check who it is immovable to. Mind will play these games, but this is good. Check thoroughly what this rock is to me. When I close my eyes, it's not there. And when I open my eyes, it's there. In my deep sleep, it's not there. And when I'm awake, it's there. What is this change? Enquire. No. My guru says, be open and empty. Open in the sense, do not resist any of it. Like this is one example what I gave as a rock, because when we listen to the words of the sage, there is a high possibility that mind will bring some or the other things like, oh, if this is this, then what is this? If you try to give answer to it, then there'll be something else, something else, something else, something else, something else. So this open and empty means be open to it, but don't get caught with it. Don't catch to something and just be with that thought trying to resolve it. No. Open and empty. It feels so light. Empty in the sense, let it pass through. Whatever comes will go. Right? Yeah. When the sage says immovable, he is talking about the truth. The truth would never change. Only the false can change. And the sage says meditate on intelligence. The intelligence that the sage is talking about is not the knowledge or the intelligence to crack something. It means the witness of the observer and the observed. You are that one. Intelligence means something that is free of knowing and not knowing. And the sage says, meditate on non-dual. Non-dual just means not attached. There are many to the ego, And sage is just saying, don't get identified with any of them. The truth is one. With these words, the sage is subtly telling us to inquire and reject the false. This is the only meditation the sage is talking about. The inquiry and the rejection of the false. Now, the sage mentioned the same in different words in the previous verse also. Why is he repeating this? Let's see. It's like, before there was a recognition that I was small. Sage said, don't consider yourself to be very small, my dear ones. You are the highest of the highest. Right? So we have seen this in many of the previous verses. Now, I have added the playlist link which consists of all the verses in the description below. You can check the playlist for all the verses. When Sage said this, how is it different? I was thinking that I was small, and now I'm thinking that I am the highest. We need to be very careful here. This is not what the sage is saying here. When the sage says meditate on the immovable, intelligence and non-dual, he's saying you are that which is immovable. You are that intelligence which is beyond knowing and not knowing. You are not the identity which is attached to anything or anyone. Right? Check what is happening when sage is saying this. Is this being listened by an ego? Is it creating an illusion on top of the ego that I am the highest? If yes, then reject it immediately. The self cannot be on top or bottom of anything. Do not get caught in this illusion. This illusion will keep the ego protected. It will keep the ego protected with a secured shell of spirituality. The sage is saying, this is very harmful, my dear ones. Reject this and be free. This ego has no relief. Be it by knowing or not knowing, it will not have relief. It will have restlessness in both. And intelligence is the freedom from both. Give up the illusion of the separate self. The sage is saying this because you are the witness, and that is the only truth. Do not be a slave to what you see in this world. He's saying, see how you are differentiating this, that, within, without. Drop all of this. He's saying all of this because the mind does it. Mind fluctuates within and without. It starts differentiating. He's saying us to drop this game. What you're seeing outside is actually what you have inside. We had discussed this in one of the verses also, right? What was inside is what you're seeing out. Why it's being seen outside? Because it's not able to get the completion within. So to whom there is completion? And to whom there is no completion? Right? The sage is helping us to see this and get free of it.